I'm Shelly, Executive Director at Lions Bear Lake Camp, and I'm here to share with you one of the Fab 5 state projects, and that is Lions Visually Impaired Youth Camp. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So today's agenda for Lions of Michigan to get to know Lions Bear Lake Camp is to talk about our mission, introduce you to our history, give you a virtual tour of our camp, our buildings and their sponsorships, and our current needs, provide you with an organizational structure, share with you our year-round programming, invite you to our fundraising efforts, provide you a warm thank you from those that you impact the most, and of course, end with a question and answer period. So before we get started, I do hope to be able to show you virtually exactly what we do here at Lions Bear Lake Camp and how your donations continue to start our mission. I also want to introduce myself a little bit more. I think it's important that you know where the leadership is and where we're going since the beginning of COVID. As some of you may know, I have taken over as Executive Director in January of 2020. To give you a little background about myself, I received both my Bachelor's of Animal Science and Master's of Family Community Service from Michigan State University. Go Green! I have worked in the nonprofit world my entire career. I started with MSU Extension as a 4-H Youth Development Program Coordinator for both Huron and St. Olaf counties. I then went to the Huron County Health Department as a substance abuse prevention counselor and went to Michigan Public Health Institute as a child care health consultant, where I wrote many health, safety, and nutrition policies for not only child care facilities, but camps as well. Myself, I'm a Lions member in the Ubly Lions Club. My daughter and I are pictured over on the side. That's Lorelei. We also own our own animal feed business on the side. And we are very excited about the journey that we have stumbled upon at Lions Bear Lake Camp. I started in a very abnormal time, you might say, as COVID struck us. And so between my daughter and I, we were the only ones at camp for a while when COVID was taking a toll on everyone. And so we are truly excited about the journey that is coming, and we look forward to many more successful years of camp, of having people on our campus and seeing campers in action. So let's get started with today's agenda. And the first thing on that agenda was to share with you the mission of Lions Bear Lake Camp. And that is to develop leadership skills, build confidence, and to provide premier outdoor educational and recreational experiences year-round to all persons regardless of ability. Next on our agenda is history. We were founded in 1982 by Lake Orion Lions Club as Lions Visually Impaired Youth Camp. We were initiated by Big Al Casson, which originated at Camp Franklin Settlement in Lake Orion. From there, Big Al moved the camp to different locations for various reasons. And then finally, in 2000, Lions Bear Lake Camp was purchased, and home is where we are now. Camp has been available for free for a total of almost 40 years to our visually impaired youth. We later incorporated our deaf and hard of hearing youth and their families and have offered that camp to them as at either free or reduced cost. We were incorporated as a 501c3 in 1992, and we became a state project of Lions of Michigan, Multiple 11 District in 2003. So just to pause right there, that might be a quiz question later. Just kidding. We are currently solely supported by contributions from Lions clubs, individuals, corporations, service organizations, and foundations. We do not receive any state or federal dollars. The 40 years of being able to provide our facility free of charge to those who need us the most is because of you. And we want to start just by saying thank you. As I mentioned previously, we are in Lapeer, Michigan. The southern dot is where we're located. As executive director, I do not live on grounds, and I am the other northeast dot. So I live a little bit away from camp, but for those of you across the state, that's when we put our mitten up, that's where we're located. Next on our agenda is a virtual tour of camp, the sponsorships, and the needs that we are asking from clubs currently. I will share with you these two pictures because I think they really do our campus justice. On the left, you will see in the far corner our climbing tower and zip line area, our Shelby Township Lions Lodge, and then a slew of buildings, which is our cabins. And from the picture on the right, you can see the front view of our cabins and our lakefront area. If you haven't been to camp, I highly encourage you to come out. Even right now, the colors are splendid. So let's start with our Shelby Township Lions Lodge. As I mentioned that from the prior picture, this is sponsored by the Shelby Township Lions. It includes a commercial kitchen, a banquet hall that accommodates almost 350 people, and on the front of the Shelby Township Lions Lodge is a new addition. It's an addition of a pavilion area. It has sides that do come down, but this is a new outdoor classroom for us. This was built in part with a grant from LCIF, and we really wanted this outdoor addition to be a classroom for our campers. We serve a lot of kids that are immunocompromised. They can't also withstand the heat and the sun. So this provides a shaded outdoor area for them to still participate. So it's been a beautiful and much needed addition to our facility. We do have 10 sleeping cabins. They accommodate 16 people per cabin. They have power, heat, and bathrooms. In 2000, these cabins were sponsored by clubs and individuals for original construction, which cost almost $40,000 per cabin, and we have 10 of them. In 2015, every cabin received a steel roof that was covered through a grant. 20 years later, in 2020, cabins need renovations. Currently, we have 4 out of the 6 completed. Renovations are costing around $15,000 a cabin, and that includes new carpet, new paint, water heater replacement, and furnace replacement. As you can tell from the timeline, camp is now a little over 20 years old. And as we know, as homeowners, everything needs a little updating every now and again. And that doesn't exclude camp either. So from there, let me give you an introduction to the 10 cabins that we have, the current sponsorships, the renovations we need, and what we're seeking. Our first cabin is Dogwood Cabin. That was originally sponsored and still is by the Mount Clemens Lions Club. It is currently in need of a hot water tank and a furnace replacement. We have our Oak Ridge Cabin, sponsored by Rochester Hills Lions Club, which is completely renovated. We have Pines Cabin, which was originally sponsored by 11A1 Lions Clubs and needs a complete renovation. We have the Maple Ridge Cabin, which is sponsored by Romeo and Chesterfield Bay Lions Club and needs a complete renovation as well. We have the Gypsy Cabin, which is sponsored by the Warren Lions Club, and that is in need of a new hot water and a furnace. We have our Wigwam Cabin, sponsored by the New Haven, New Baltimore, and Armada Lions Club. That is in need of a new hot water tank and furnace as well. Windy Ridge Cabin is sponsored by Lake Orion Lions Club and is in need of the hot water tank and furnace. Birch Run Cabin in 2000 was also originally sponsored by the Vince Marinelli family, but currently needs a sponsor and also a complete renovation. Our Lakeview Cabin was in 2000 sponsored by Helen and Floyd Thorman, currently needs a new sponsor and also needs a complete renovation. Swing Along Cabin in 2000 was sponsored by LCIF and also needs a new sponsor and a complete renovation. These clubs in the origination, as mentioned, have donated so many dollars to just the construction of these buildings to have on our facility, to have campers come and enjoy camp and the program that we provide. It has been such a gracious donation and partnership to keep these cabins sponsored by these clubs and the continued support throughout the years. As you can see now, out of the 10 cabins and they're 20 years of age, they all need some updating and some replacement. So we ask that clubs are either able to continue their sponsorship that they have always done throughout the last 20 years, or we could also add new sponsors for the renovation portion of it. So if your club is interested in any of the sponsorships, please contact me and we would be happy to get the new renovation started to get into the full swing of the 2022 season. We have our playground area that's also universally accessible. We have our universally accessible dock. on the left that was sponsored by an LCIF grant as well, which means any ability can take a kayak, a canoe, what have you, and launch from that dock. It's a beautiful new addition. We have our archery field sponsored by the Ubley Lions, and on the right, our Dunn Memorial Activity Field, which is the size of a football field. And we have many schools that take advantage of that with their marching bands to their football practices. We also have a lot of leadership development that happens on that field as well. On what we like to call the hill is our tenting area, which we have a covered pavilion, a wonderful campfire ring, a beautiful shower house, and again, the tenting area throughout the surrounding areas. This was sponsored by District 11A1 Lions Club. We have our Nature Center that in 2000 was sponsored by the 11D2 Lions Clubs, and it needs a few renovations as well. This is in need of a steel roof and gutters, ramp work, exterior paint, and new carpeting. This is where all of our nature activities occur. They learn anything from the wildlife that is at camp to the fish in the lake to the birds in the trees. This is a very well enjoyed building. We also have our activity center. In 2000, it was sponsored by the Eschbach Foundation and is currently in need of a hot water tank, a new furnace, interior paint, and exterior paint. This building is where a lot of activities occur. It's a very open building, and so on rainy days, we can come in here and we can still do our leadership. They've been known to do some additional team building activities in here, so it's a very nice area for those rainy days. Our Art Center in 2000 was sponsored by the Waterford Lions Club. Most recently, in 2021, initial renovations were sponsored by the Lapeer County Community Foundation. We redid some of the ramp, we redid some of the exterior, doors needed to be replaced, the inside flooring needed to be replaced, interior paint because the floor was rotting out. And so we've done a lot of renovation to make this art center a great classroom for our kids. However, it's still in need of a steel roof and gutters, exterior paint, and the most interesting part is we are in need of an individual to help care for the Art Center programming itself. So if you know of anyone who is just in love with the arts and crafts curriculum, please share that with us, because we are definitely in need of someone to really take on the Art Center and its programming and share it with our campers. Next is our Health Center in our office. In 2000, it was sponsored by Tony and Jean Cosia and Kirk Christian families. In 2021, however, it does need a new sponsor, and it needs a few things as well, which entails a new hot water tank, a new furnace, and carpeting in our office area. For those of you who haven't been to camp, our office is located in the basement of the Health Center. We also have our maintenance shed and our director's home. One of the more fun things that we have to offer that we get rave reviews about is our universally accessible ropes course, climbing tower, and zip line. So as you can see from our photos, this is a universally accessible piece of equipment that we have on our grounds for great team building, great leadership, great development, and great staff to lead these programs. Next on our agenda is to talk about our organizational structure. Here at Lions Bear Lake Camp, we are governed by a large board of directors. They really do seek to lead us into the future with great programming, great ideas, and to help fiscally support us. From there, it goes down to myself as executive director. Next is our camp director, which is currently a vacant position that we are looking to hire in 2022. We have our maintenance director position, our food service director, and his staff. We have our visually impaired program coordinators, our deaf and hard of hearing program coordinators, and almost 100 summer counselors and staff, and not to forget our volunteers. Here at camp, while it seems that we don't operate all year round or that we have a minimal staff, we actually have quite a few people here during the summer months when it is so crazy, hectic, fun, busy. So we do have quite an organization of people that really get this programming accomplished. Next on our agenda is to talk about our overnight camp programming. What do we do best here at camp? That's overnight programming. Our bread and butter is our visually impaired youth camp. We do that for 2 weeks in the summer months. We also offer a deaf and hard of hearing youth camp. We then offer our hearing impaired kids and their families to come back to camp together, as well as incorporating a visually impaired family camp. This is a huge component for our kids. When they come to our facility, they're really learning independent skills. They're learning how to live on their own. They're learning how to interact with others. And so when they go home, they have a whole broad, brand new life skill set that sometimes it's hard to incorporate back into the family. So we do invite families to come back out to camp and allow everyone to get acclimated to the new skill set. We team up with Camp Quality and offer a camp for kiddos with cancer. We team up with Macomb Autism and achieve their family camp. Heartland Hospice uses our facility for their grief camp for their children, teenagers, and adults. In a great programming year, we serve over 600 campers, and that equates to almost 2,500 camper days. That is super exciting. I have yet to be able to see a full RAN program, but 2022 is coming quickly, and I can hardly wait. New to the docket this year is that we are in conjunction and trying to bring in a new program with the Down Syndrome Camp, with the Michigan Bureau of Services for Blind Persons, as well as the Independent Order of Odd Fellows organization. 3 more weeks of camp at our facility is what our goal is for 2022. I'm excited. I can't wait to be able to offer yet another great opportunity to those who need us the most. We also offer day programming with our climbing tower and ropes course. We team up with Link's Autism Program, Oakland University, St. Joseph Schools, Young Marines through across the state, Leader Dog. We team up with a number of high school band programs, football programs, Sterling Heights Band, Warren Band, Lincoln High School, Marlette High School, Port Huron High School, Lapeer Schools, Rochester High School Choir, and business groups throughout the county. Our facility is open to schools, to nonprofits, to groups, to those who need the leadership and teamwork skills. We offer a great array of programming just within our tower and our ropes course, and we highly encourage folks to use it. Even our Lions clubs are welcome to come use it and gain teamwork and leadership development within their own clubs. We truly offer an inclusive camp program. Our goal is to have our campers leave camp having developed and grown in a variety of skills, all while staying true to their core values of fun, friendship, and exploration. Our camp is built on research. It's built on programming that we know works. Studies have shown that children who participate in just 1 week of camp, like the ones we offer, whether it's our visually impaired or our deaf and hard of hearing camp, they significantly improve their motor competence. We're making them use skills that they didn't even know they had. We're teaching them techniques that will provide skills that will be meaningful to them. Research shows our deaf and hard of hearing camp has just a positive impact on our youth because it develops their social skills and social acceptance. When these peers are among other peers that are just like them, they improve their self-esteem and their self-confidence and their self-worth and their language skills. When they make relationships with their counselors who went through the program, who have the abilities just like they do, that peer role modeling can do so much for their self-worth. We provide opportunities for increased social experience, provide them with leadership experience, and allow them to explore skills they didn't even know they had. We encourage them to participate in new experiences and new activities that camp has to offer. And last, and certainly but not least, we offer a very nurturing environment. This is a safe place to come, to open up, to enjoy, to let our kids just be themselves and know that they are truly cared about and loved enough to be able to just let loose and have fun. Next on our agenda is to talk about where our income is and our expenses. When it comes to our income, 23% comes from grants that we write. 3% comes from memorials and individual givings. 24% comes from club donations, Lions like you across the state, beating the bushes, raising funds, taking your weekends and putting them into action and providing donations to our organization so our facility can stay open, so our facility can continue to provide camp free of charge to those kiddos that need us the most. 22% of our income comes from our off-season rentals. We are open 365 days a year. So when we aren't in our summer camp sessions, our facility is open for rentals from outside groups. 8% comes from fundraisers. 13% comes from additional programming. 7% comes from camper sponsorships and fees to the other camps that we provide that may not be free of charge. Our expenses, 50% of our expenses, as you heard earlier, goes right back into programming and our staff. We have a very stacked staff who have the skill to be able to program to the direct needs of our campers. So we are fortunate to be able to put 50% of our income right back out into the expense of our programming. 14% goes to administration, 19% goes to operating, and 17% currently goes to our mortgage payment. And we are very happy and excited to always say we are on the downhill spiral of 100% fully owning Lions Bear Lake Camp by fall of 2022, which will free up that money, more dollars to go right back to increase our programming ability. 2022 is going to be one exciting year. Speak of the devil, what does that look like for camp? We've got our dates set. We have our visually impaired camp date set, our deaf and hard of hearing camp, our second session, and our family camps. We are ready, we are excited, and we hope that as Lions, you will continue to support sponsorships for these kids to be able to come to camp and allow their families to enjoy it free of charge. So stay tuned. As I mentioned earlier, we're adding 3 more weeks of camp, who again will directly fulfill our mission and our goal. So stay tuned for those dates. But truly, 2022 is going to be a wonderful year for us at camp. What can you do to help? This is always a question I get, and it's a great question to answer. Spread our message to your family, friends, schools, businesses, wherever you are. Share us, share what we do. Volunteer. Have your clubs come and volunteer during our camps. Show our campers maybe a skill that you're great at. Come have dinner with them. Come sing campfire songs. It doesn't even matter. Just come enjoy each other's company. It's amazing to see these kids prosper, and I think it's just a one-in-a-lifetime chance opportunity to actually be present and see the wonderful things happen. Our work bee cleanup days. You know, we have a great big facility, lots of buildings, lots of sponsorships, always something to do. Come help us out, whether you like to mow grass, trim trees, rake leaves. We always have a wonderful job that we need help with. In-kind donations. Clubs can always collect items that we may need at camp to help reduce our costs. And even if you're unsure if it's something that we need, always reach out to us. Sometimes we don't even know what we need, and it takes a few ideas to spark something to get those types of items into our hands to even be able to provide some new camp ideas. Support our fundraisers. Join us. We're a pretty fun group. We have Beer Fest in a Bag that takes place at the Metamora Golf and Country Club in April. We do our Wild Buffalo and Boar Game Dinner at the Metamora Lions Club, and that is hosted in April as well. We do a fabulous golf outing at the Metamora Golf and Country Club held in August. We do an ultra marathon fundraiser that's held in October, a great time of the year to come out and see camp with all the wonderful colors changing. We also do our wine and dinner fundraiser at the Metamora Lions Club in October. We have our memorial bricks, benches, and tables that you can buy in memory or honor of someone special in your life. We have our apparel and, of course, our camperships. Support our campers to go to camp. And our annual donations. all of our clubs continuously give generously throughout the fiscal year. We get your annual club donations, and that qualifies you for a banner patch. We also have our cabin and building sponsorships. I went through a virtual tour of our camp, our cabins, our buildings. We have wonderful sponsors who have originally sponsored them, and now we're looking for renovation sponsorships. So if your club can help with that, please do. We also have our ongoing For Our Kids Capital campaign. That's truly another campaign that will hopefully be able to get built back up to continue to support our cabin and buildings. We have used those dollars in the last couple of years to do just that, and so now we're trying to build those funds back up. So the hope is that your club can support 2 of the 3 annual donation options and help continue to keep our facility looking as sharp as it always does. Finally, thank you. Thank you for what you've done. I, as executive director, can say thank you over and over, but I think you really need to hear it from those who get support from you directly.
First things first, thank you. Thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to start off as this little 8-year-old kid going up through the program and now work on staff and help other little 8-year-old kids grow up and learn and just have a fun summer with a camp experience. It wouldn't be possible without all the Lions Club support and everything they do for this camp.
I would just say thank you to all the Lions Clubs, because without their support, this camp would not be possible. And I truly wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't have made so many friends and had so many amazing experiences and learned so much from all the different people here. So I would just want to give a big thank you, because without them, this camp would never be possible. And
we appreciate all the donations and all the support that we've been given through Lions groups, because it brings all the resources that we need to camp, the staff that we bring, and just the camp experience overall.
So as a state project, even one of the missions is our vision. And so we want to help all the visually impaired members of our communities. And so just by doing, our visually impaired and blind camp, we're fulfilling part of that mission. We're doing exactly what this camp alone was founded on. And we've been able to successfully do that for over 20 years. So going into the future, knowing that those donations are going to be here to continue to put on these great adventures for our campers who are in the blind and visually impaired community, we're doing such a due diligence to our mission and our value and the heart of what Lions was founded on.
And being able to look down at some of these kids, watch them grow as they grow up, like some staff watched me grow and eventually become staff. And just seeing that and seeing them learn, seeing them just have fun and have everything be just like a regular summer camp in this special place for them. It's just amazing. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I think my favorite thing is seeing the kids interact with each other, having them all come to our facility, our campus, and really find kids that are just like them and they can interact and be themselves and open up and blossom and really have a great time. So my hope from day one, I want this camp full of kids from the moment they're out of school to the moment they go back into school. I want every week filled with a camp opportunity for the kids who need us the most, who can really bring what they're great at and express it here.
Camp has prepared me to give me more practice in leadership roles. I don't think I would have gotten that leadership confidence without the start of camp, because that's really where it all started. I was able to practice the leadership and hone in on it and just run with it. Even though we might say it a lot, we really, really mean it. Just thank you for everything.
On behalf of Lions Bear Lake Camp and myself and all of our campers, thank you for your continued donations. The impact you're making will last a lifetime.